Gear. Let's talk about it. If you're here because you're a creative freelancer like me, you're probably obsessed with gear. I mean, make no mistake about it, I am too. But before we get into talking about gear and cool cameras and drones and lenses, I think we need to establish gear as a theory because there's a lot to understand about gear that isn't talked about as much on YouTube. I mean, after all, there's a million channels out there where you can review the latest specs and the coolest and newest piece of kit that you probably want to spend your hard-earned dollars on. Maybe at some point I'll get into that game a little bit, but it's super crowded, and more importantly, I thought it would be better to talk about gear as it relates to your business and making smart decisions about it. I want to start by being completely honest and transparent about a syndrome that I have suffered from for years, and my guess is you probably have too. And that syndrome is called GAS, and GAS stands for Gear Acquisition Syndrome. Ask yourself, have you ever been in a position where you see a new camera or a new lens or a new drone that comes out and you immediately start devouring all the content from creators on the internet about why it's the newest, latest, and greatest piece of kit and why you need to have it? I mean, at the end of the day, you think that that new gimbal or that new drone is going to make you and your business better. You're going to get better footage for your clients, better image quality. It's going to level up your business, and ultimately down the road, you're going to get a return on that piece of gear. So of course, you need to have it. But here's the hard truth. That's pretty much nonsense. You can make great quality work with gear that is a year, 2 years, sometimes even 10 plus years old. The new piece of gear that comes out is not going to make your business better. And that syndrome, gear acquisition syndrome, can single-handedly sink your business. I know this from personal experience. I can't tell you how many times I have done huge waves of purchasing gear, and then that client check gets delayed, or some invoice that you sent gets held up for some reason, and all of a sudden I find myself in a cash flow problem. And after the initial honeymoon period of having the new piece of gear wears off, I'm going, man, I really wish I never bought that thing, because right now there's too many other buckets in my business that need that money. Because here's the deal. Anytime you purchase a new piece of gear, you're taking money away from something else, whether it's systems, infrastructure, even personal pay. And I can tell you from personal experience that for me, the thing that always suffers the most when I overextend myself financially is my own personal pay. And nowadays, when I have real responsibilities like a house and a family, that stresses me out more than I care to share on this channel. So I think gear acquisition syndrome is something that every creator has probably suffered from one time or another. And the sooner you can realize it and account for it, the better off you can be in making smarter financial decisions for your business. Here's another thing we all need to understand when it comes to gear. At the end of the day, gear are tools. And the sooner that you can separate the emotion and the excitement from gear, the better off you're gonna be. Think of yourself if you were a carpenter and you needed a hammer and nails and a screwdriver and all the things that you need to do your job. Yeah, camera equipment is cool. These drones, these lenses, the things surrounding me, they're really cool, high-tech pieces of gear. But at the end of the day, they're tools. They're tools to get a job done. And my guess is, if any of you out there have ever purchased that new camera or new lens, once the honeymoon period ends, you start to realize pretty quickly that, yeah, this is just a thing that I need to do a job with. Many people out there get hung up on all the nuances of specs and the newest and greatest piece of gear. I mean, there's even people that will be beholden to a certain brand because they're obsessed with staying within a certain pipeline. But at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, is this the tool that I need to get the job done? Because again, all this gear, yeah, it's super cool and it's super fun. And believe me, there are days when a new package comes and I feel like a kid on Christmas, but I can't tell you how quickly that wears off and the tools just get put to work. And eventually they end up sitting on our storage shelves when they're not in use, just like everything else we've acquired over the year. So the faster you can remove the emotion away from purchases, the better off you are. And I'll leave you with this little tip that I always try to think about when it comes to purchasing gear. Is it a need or is it a want? If you need a piece of gear, and be brutally honest with yourself, if you can't do your job without it, then maybe it gets a little bit more priority. Or is it just a want because something new came out and you feel like you want it? If it's a want, it's not a buy, plain and simple. And the sooner you can embody that, the better off you and your business are going to be. Here's a third point when it comes to gear. You don't always need to buy stuff. It took me years and years to realize this, but clients, especially in the big leagues, they could care less what kind of camera I'm using, what lens is on it, what drone we have up in the air. No, they care about the outcome. They care that the content is what they want and that it solves problems for them. And we've talked about this extensively in other episodes on this channel. Clients don't care what kind of gear you have. I mean, sure, is there gonna be a time when a client has a very specific need for a particular piece of gear? Perhaps, but by and large, they don't care. So the more stuff you acquire, the more headache you're gonna have. And I'm gonna get to that in a minute. Most clients, especially as you get into the big leagues, expect to pay for some kind of gear. I know friends of mine who run really high-end, successful production companies who don't own a single piece of gear. Let me repeat that. I know people who have shot commercials for brands that we've all dreamed of working with, and they own nothing. No, they go into every project, they figure out what they need to get the job done, and then they go to a local rental house and they rent everything. Or they hire creative professionals who are bringing their own gear with them. It's a perfectly common practice. And the sooner you realize that you don't need to own that much stuff to be successful in this business, the better off you're gonna be. So remember, renting is always an option. Borrowing is always an option. And at the end of the day, my guess is the clients aren't really gonna care either way. There's another thing when it comes to gear that no YouTuber or influencer is going to want to call out. And that is, once you buy a piece of gear, there's still costs and they're kind of hidden. It's always fun to think about acquiring a really expensive camera or a really expensive lens or drone, but the bottom line is that when you buy something, the costs don't stop. There's hidden costs associated with every purchase, just like there is with your automobile or your home or whatever else it is. There's maintenance costs. There's cleaning costs. There's always going to be repair costs. And nobody likes to talk about that. Everybody thinks once you buy a camera, you put the money down and it's done. But believe me, it's not. We send cameras, lenses, drones back for repairs, for maintenance constantly. And those costs add up. And the more stuff that you own, those hidden costs can add up to thousands and thousands of dollars per year, but nobody likes to talk about that. So again, think about it realistically about whether or not this is something that you actually want to own, because once you own it, you have to maintain it. And maintaining your gear and keeping it fresh and operating at a high level so that you can get jobs done requires money. And here's the last point I want to make, at least for this one, when it comes to gear. If you're looking around me, I probably look like every other photographer or director or influencer you see on YouTube. There's a lot of stuff here, but all of this stuff behind me took a really long time to acquire. It's not like this stuff was all purchased in the same month, let alone the same year. I've been in this career for almost 10 years, and what you see surrounding me is stuff that I've bought over the course of 10 years. Gear acquisition is a really long game, and if you're playing the gear game smart, you're thinking about all the ways to not buy gear before you buy gear. Again, renting, borrowing, or just trying things out and using different tools for different jobs. When you buy something, you own it and you gotta maintain it. So all of the things that you're seeing around me, these things didn't happen overnight. They weren't purchased overnight. These are things that were acquired over a really, really long period of time. And believe me, on every single purchase that I've made throughout my career, whether it's the hyper expensive drone down to a camera pack that we beat the hell out of on a daily basis, I stressed and stressed about that purchase, because when you're running a business, especially a creative freelancing business, every single dollar that you earn is personal. It's what keeps your business running. It's what puts pay in your pocket. It's what puts food on the table. So purchasing something that's $200 or $20,000 is a really big deal. And it's important to remember that just like accumulating wealth in your retirement account or anything else, it's a really, really long game. And I think that's important. So don't think you need everything today, because it's not the reality. And I think whether you're talking to a photographer or director who's been in this for 2 years, or you're talking to somebody at the top of the game, they all will say the same thing. It's taken them a really long time to get all that cool equipment that they're using. So yeah, bottom line, gear is cool. I'm obsessed with it. I'm a gear nerd. I love seeing all the things sitting around me. And every time I make a new purchase, I feel like a kid on Christmas morning, and that's really cool. But don't forget, gear is expensive, especially in the photography game. And you should really be thinking about all the ways in which you can not buy gear. Because again, I think the most important principle to remember is the need versus the want. Buy the things that you truly need, things that you will use every single day, on every single shoot, or every single job that you're on. Those are things that are probably worth owning. Everything else, think of them as tools. Get them when you need them, return them when you don't need them, and let it ride. Ultimately, your goal should be about financial health, not about gear that you've acquired. Have 6 months of operating cash in the bank. Make sure you can pay yourself for months and months. Then think about buying that piece of kit. Until then, Believe me, you do not want to put yourself in a financial hole because you've gotten the newest, latest, greatest piece of kit. So again, gear is cool, but they're assets, they're tools, and they need to be treated with respect, especially when it comes to the health of your business. We're gonna keep talking about gear throughout this channel, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I want to do that. But in the meantime, I hope this episode was helpful, and we'll see you on the next one.